Hi, Chris. It's Gary Keller.
Hey, Gary, how are you?
Hi, Chris. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Well, thanks for giving your time today to visit with me.
Oh, anytime.
You know, I was looking at the stats the other day and went, "Oh my gosh, Chris, you had another amazing year." And I just went, "Wow." I told Mindy I'd get on the phone with Chris for a second and just ask the question, how'd you do that? How did that happen in the face of really a tough, beyond describable tough market?
Well, and actually, you know, my number of transactions went from 132 to 158. My GCI went down, just because of the average sales price going down and commissions on short sales. But it happens the same way it always happens, Gary, is with a very specific plan, and then following that plan, on a daily basis. And
well, what would a specific plan? In nuts and bolts. What when you say a specific plan? What do you mean?
It's like coming up with a goal and then saying, okay, what do I need to do on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis to achieve that goal? So it all boils back all the way down to the number of contacts I make on lead, when I do my lead generation. So if I'm doing my lead generation every day and focused on the groups that I identify I'm going to focus on, then I know the results will be there. And to the extent that I stick to that schedule is to the same extent that I'll, achieve my goal. To the extent that I don't is probably going to be the same percentage that I'll miss the goal by.
So how do you stick to a plan? I know one of the biggest challenges that I personally face is, I got a goal and I got a plan. Now I got to do it. How do you stick to that?
I wish there was one answer I could give you or one thing. It's a more than anything else, it's a mindset. 90% of what we do is the mental side of it. The doing part, physically showing up and picking up the phone and making the calls, that's nothing magical about that. But having the mindset to do that, even on the days when you don't feel like doing it, is really the key. And now for me, what's always worked well is having a really clear vision of what I want and knowing what that will do for me if I get it, and then knowing this is the price I'm willing to pay to get it.
Any tricks do you do to keep that vision in your head? Is that as simple as, sticking a sticky note in front of you every day, or?
I have it. I do all those things. I have it. It's one page is it's all on a one-page thing, and I have that, next to my computer monitor. It's taped to my shower door on the outside facing in. So every time I'm in the shower, I'm looking at it.
No, really, you tape it to the shower door?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
And what I started doing this year to sort of up it one more level is on a daily basis, I'm having my assistant send me a quick email and telling me where I am week to date. So, for example, today is a Tuesday. So she's going to send me an email that's going to tell me how many listing appointments I've had, since Monday, how many listings I took, and how many homes I sold. And then the next day will be, the first 3 days of the week, then the fourth day of the week, and then every Monday it starts over. So on a daily basis, I'm keeping my eye on where I'm at, in relationship to my goal. I was doing it, on a monthly basis, but now it's gotten to the point where I just need to do it on a daily basis.
Wow, that's pretty strong. What you're saying is the big trick is you got to have it in front of you.
You got to have it in front of me, and it's got to be a goal, I think, that's important enough that you're going to do those things that you need to do. I'm real clear, financially what I want and need to, accomplish in 2010, and now it's just executing on a daily basis. And it's like anything else. It's like, the Saints and the Colts going to the Super Bowl. They are, every minute between now and that Super Bowl game, they are focused on the outcome, and they know what they need to do to prepare, and they're going to do whatever it takes.
Well, the one that wins will be the one that did that the best.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, what do you think going into 2010 will be let's back up. What do you think in 2009 your biggest challenge was? What was the biggest obstacle or obstacles that you ran up against that you had to fight?
Let's see. I think one of the challenges was on the buyer's side, really not letting the people on my team who deal with the buyers fall into the belief that that the public and a lot of the other agents had, which was, oh, there's, you know, in the lower price ranges, there's not enough inventory and there's multiple offers and we're getting beat out on everyone. And just saying, hey, look at this, that's the game. What do we need to do to win the game? You know, does that mean that we need to find properties before anyone else finds them? Does that mean that we need to, you know, structure our offers, whether it's acceleration clauses or anything else? You know, what do we need to do differently if this is the game now to make sure that we're coming out on top?
Right, because the big challenge for those guys is falling into those self-defeating beliefs that you can't overcome those obstacles, that an obstacle by definition is not overcomable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the beliefs that you know, that there isn't enough inventory or enough homes.
Well, yeah.
You know,
it becomes a self-fulfilling belief if you think that.
Yeah. So that was one thing. The ongoing, for 23 years I've been doing this, you know, obstacle is, you know, interruptions. Most of them are self-inflicted. And thanks to the internet, it's really easy to interrupt yourself and distract yourself.
I know.
So that's, you know, that was an obstacle and a challenge.
How do you fight that one?
You know what? It's like kicking any habit. It's just, it's almost like a cold turkey. Like, you know, if you're gonna stop drinking, just, you know, you don't go from hard alcohol to beer. You just stop. And so that's what I've had to do. You know, at certain times of the day, I'm just not gonna, you know, be on there, and I'm gonna have someone else that'll monitor it. And that's just what needs to happen. Otherwise, you know, if I were to videotape myself and even as efficient as I am, if I'm also checking or responding to an email, that's just taken away, you know, it adds up, and the time it takes away and the focus it takes away from the task at hand. And when you really think about it, I mean, if you or I were going into surgery, you know, would that surgeon be checking his email or his BlackBerry while he's, you know, cutting open our knee?
No.
You know, is that attorney, you know, that attorney that's in the courtroom, you know, up there in front of the jury, is he going to, you know, pull out his iPhone and start checking things? So, you know, we just can't do that.
Yeah, that's right. It's you can slow bleed yourself to death, can't you? With little bitty time wasters and interruptions. I know. I find for me that, and you're right, it's a continual challenge. Once I know what to do, the biggest issue is remembering every day what it is, and number two, time blocking. So that all other interruptions during that period are managed away from me, so that I can just focus on that.
Yeah,
it's a big challenge.
It is, and there's no easy thing. I mean, I've learned as much about that from you as anyone, and even with that being said, it's still we could be totally insulated from things, but if we don't have the discipline to also, you know, be doing what we should be doing or not be doing what we shouldn't be doing, you know, that's still not going to do any good.
Well, and what you said is so smart. What you're acknowledging is that it is a, no matter how many years, you know, that we've been at this, what we know is that every year is a new year, and it's going to bring its own distractions and its own issues. And finding new and interesting or, you know, successful ways of managing our focus is critical, isn't it?
It really is. There's things are coming at us from all angles, and you know, it's that single-mindedness which has, you know, caused us or allowed us to be as successful as we've been, or to obtain whatever level of success we've obtained, and then, you know, remembering that and sticking to that when everything around you wants you to do something different than that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you were going to, before I let you go, if you were going to give advice to people for 2010 about how to do the best they could do, what advice would you give them?
You know, it's great to talk about things and everything else, but it comes down to execution. And on a daily basis, you know, you got to make sure that you know what you're supposed to be doing, and then you're just doing it. And to either have an accountability partner or coach or someone or even yourself to on a daily basis be saying, you know, yeah, you did what you're supposed to do, or you didn't do it, and what are you going to do differently tomorrow to make sure it happens? That's why I went to, you know, on a daily basis, just checking to see where I'm at, because if I do it at the end of the month, it's, you know, it's too late. You know, I go, oh shoot, that was a bad month. Yeah, I can't afford to have a bad month and you know, achieve the goals that I've set to achieve. So I think that's probably the main thing, is just to make sure on a daily basis that they're executing. the great thing about our business is there's no secrets or magic tricks. Everyone knows what they need to do to be successful. That's just a matter of who does it.
Well, one of the things I hear you say is you may have a bad day, but you're unwilling to let yourself have a bad month. So you're looking for ways to pull that focus back in alignment when you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're focused on doing it.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. All right, I'm going to let you go. You had an awesome year. I just can't tell you how proud I am for you for that. I know you worked hard. I understand GCI was down a little bit, but the reality is that you keep punching away at those kind of unit numbers, and you and I know that time works that out from a GCI standpoint.
Yeah, early in this year, I'm already seeing that happen. I mean, I'm getting some higher priced properties, and
that's good.
Hey, by the way, we're getting some good publicity. I'm at the Mike Ferry one-on-one retreat, and there's 2,000 agents here, and this morning he had me role play on stage a live listing presentation. So everyone's hearing about Keller Williams.
Oh.